Hi everyone, today we're making fish tacos fried with a very special butter, a very powerful and fresh pico de gallo, and this amazing spicy habanero sauce. So get ready for an incredible recipe. Okay, for the first step, you have to roast the habaneros very well. Add 5 cloves of garlic. This is going to be a very dark sauce. Let everything roast for a long time and remember to move the chilies once in a while. Now you can move on with the preparation of the special pico de gallo. I swear you won't taste anything better in your life. Finely chop 1 red onion. Most traditional fish tacos go with a natural pico de gallo. I really feel free to change the recipe because I already tried a lot of versions. Always start with the preparation of the sauce and immediately start with pico de gallo because you want your pico de gallo to be slightly pickled. You will need a lot of time for the chilies to get a really nice and dark color. Habanero is going to turn sweeter along the cooking process. Just be careful not to burn the garlic. Now you can move on with the next element, mango petacon. In Paraguay we call this Brazilian mango. It's much more acid than ataulfo and with a pulp hard like a peach. This is the perfect mango for this salad or this sauce, whatever you want to call pico de gallo. You can basically do it with any mango, but the other ones are sweeter and kind of pasty. Now finely cut the tomatoes. In this case, removing all the seeds. Choose a very good tomato, not so ripe. You want to get rid of the seeds to avoid the excess of water and the sour part of raw tomato. Now to get freshness to another level, peel a cucumber because it's not so digestible, and also remove the seeds of the central part that is full of water and sourness. Only use the best part of cucumber for this preparation. This way you will only get the pleasant flavors. Cut these first in slices, then canes, and then cubes. I'm cutting everything in cubes because of the pico de gallo preparation, but you can also do a strip version of pico de gallo. It's always fun to play with cuts and textures. Now take a fresh chili, that's a must in every pico de gallo, and for me the best chili for this is chile serrano. It's way better than jalapeno chili. I'm using 12 or 15 pieces because this has to be hot and spicy, and the pairing of serrano chili is going to be this almost burnt habanero chili. It's going to taste sweet, smoky, and extremely hot and spicy. I will honestly say this recipe has a great amount of chilies. If you want to lower the amount of chilies, it's okay too, but maybe you won't feel the ecstasy of the dish. Now you can continue with cilantro. This must be very fresh and dry. Just give it a roll and pass the knife only once. If you can find Creole cilantro with fine leaves and white flowers, it's way better. Now put salt and pepper and a lot of lime juice. I'm using the juice of 5 or 6 limes. Pico de gallo should always be prepared before the fish. It should not be prepared precisely at the moment. I think it should be done at least 1 hour before using it. That way you give time for osmosis to happen thanks to the salt. This means that the raw ingredients will begin to release the internal liquid, and there will be a genuine exchange of flavors. The acid of lime juice will slightly begin to pickle the ingredients. This will change the profile of each ingredient, and especially the onion. This way also the spiciness spreads all over the preparation. So I love to do it an hour before using it, but I also really love how it turns out the next day, obviously in the fridge. This preparation goes well with any kind of fish. Now finally scratch a cabbage using a peeler or a knife. Naturally I will do it with red cabbage, but it was very expensive at the central market. Once you have everything ready, you can proceed with the fish. In this case I'm using tilapia fish. Where I live I can get this very cheap and very fresh. Basically you can use any white fish, or you can also do it with shrimps. In Baja California, they do the recipe with any kind of fish they get. This recipe is not very old. It started around 1960s in Ensenada's black market, so it's kind of normal to find a lot of versions and interpretations of this recipe. Unfortunately, I've never been to Baja California, but I already tried a lot of fish tacos. I've seen it with white or blue corn tortillas and also with wet flour tortillas and cheese. I really like them both, but I do prefer corn tortilla. Cut the fish not so large because it will get a lot of volume after butter. Now put salt and pepper, and that's really all you need, but I also love to use soy sauce for the fish. How much? The right amount to salt the fish. This way you'll get a deeper flavor. This is a nice way to add an umami element. Now let this thing rest for about 20 minutes in the fridge. I recommend you to always try and taste the fish before frying it. You can see this has already a beautiful color, and while the fish is in the fridge, you can blend all ingredients for the sauce. You can cool preparation first and start blending with a little oil. You have to add the oil little by little and you will get an emulsion because of the garlic. Or you can do this, put everything hot on a blender, put all the oil you need, and then you should add 1 egg yolk. This way you'll get a creamy and thick sauce. This way you'll get a creaminess and a texture like a mayonnaise. Some people eat this taco with a chipotle mayonnaise. This is a little twist with burnt habanero, a lot more powerful. The acid habanero turns very sweet and smoky in this sauce. This sauce will give you a very strong aftertaste. You can use this for many other dishes since habanero is very versatile and compatible. In Mexican cuisine, mayonnaise is very used for seafood. Now you can continue with the batter. You need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, add a tablespoon of baking powder, and now you can add 1 egg. If you don't want to use baking powder, you can also use baking soda. And now you can start pouring the beer until you get the perfect consistency. You don't need to know how much beer I'm using because the hydration here depends on the type of flour you are using, how much protein it has, and it depends on the body of the beer. And now 3 tips when choosing the beer. It should be effervescent or generate a lot of foam. 2. It should be a beer that you love to drink. Let yourself be guided by your taste and do not buy the cheapest beer you find. And number 3, the beer should be ice cold when you use it. And that's because you want to achieve a thermal shock. So when you fry the fish, you'll get a nice airy and crispy crust. This should be consistent but light and without any lumps. Add some salt and pepper and try the mixture before you use it. Now it's time to do the frying. It's the most practical and comfortable thing to use. If you want to know if the oil already reached the temperature, pour some mixture and see if it floats. If you don't get to the perfect temperature, the fish will absorb a lot of oil and the crust will be very heavy. You can fry several at a time as long as you don't lower the temperature so much. It's very easy to control the temperature with the wok. The amount of mixture you want to use depends on you. If it's very heavy, the crust will be denser and thicker, and if it's very light, the crust will be thinner and crispier. People here believe this battering is kind of an Asian influence, and that's because it's similar to Japanese tempura. And that's very possible because Mexico has a lot of influence from a lot of different cultures and countries. I already told you this recipe is not so old, but it's already a classic of Mexican cuisine. It's already famous all over the country, so it's not so regional anymore. You can find it almost anywhere in Mexico. I can tell this fish is so addictive, extremely juicy, light, and crispy. I've seen a lot of people frying this in pork lard, but I do not like tasting the pork flavor in this fish. Now you have everything ready for your presentation. You can see pico de gallo has already changed and it's very juicy. Serrano chili flavor has spreads all over the pico de gallo and the habanero sauce is ready to rock. Now you can assemble your taco. Start with corn tortilla, white or red cabbage, some avocado or guacamole. You can also put some carrot if you want. Now you can put the fish. You can use 2 or 3 pieces, that's fine. Now the pico de gallo, extremely fresh. This is cool so you will get a nice temperature contrast. Super hot fried fish with cold pico de gallo is amazing. This pico de gallo will also be awesome with a ceviche. Now you can add the creamy and smoky habanero sauce. This sauce smells so incredible and the flavor is so powerful. This is just the perfect and glory fried fish taco. So there you have the recipe and the simple techniques to do it. Please just remember all the tips I gave you. I encourage you to make this recipe or try your own version. This taco is just glorious and perfect. I also encourage you to use as much chili as you want. Believe me, if you use a lot of chilies, it gets better and better. And here you can see Roman, my brother-in-law, sweating because of the sauce. If you like the video, please lend me a comment, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel Teosinte. Mi nombre es Carlos Daniel Gamarra y nos vemos en el próximo video.